Hi, I'm soft speaker Lynne, fairy godmother, and I'm reading from the book The Star Money by Carolyn Emmerich. I'm reading chapter 3. Did Europeans have a conception of karma? I am quite sure that most people would knee-jerk a response to this question with a firm no, karma is a Hindu concept. And that is very true. However, we have seen that Hinduism shares very ancient cultural origins with European mythical belief. We have seen that there are certain aspects of European folk belief that have very ancient mythic origins rooted in Indo-European origin. And we know that the fairy tale tradition has roots that are far more ancient than scholars have previously been willing to entertain. Some tales are now believed to date as far back as 6,000 years. Because it is the nature of oral tales to shift, evolve, transform, and for older tales to influence newer tales, I would argue that the fairy tale genre in general would have drawn on a bank of culturally understood concepts, figures, symbols, archetypes, and themes, so that even if a tale was a new creation by a storyteller, that the teller would have comprised his tale with ingredients that had come before him. The question of how much paganism lingered on in fairy tales is a bit complex. In my opinion, a great deal of pagan belief lingered on in encoded ways. It is my assessment that paganism did not actually die out at all. It remained active and vibrant among the common folk, only it was somewhat muted and disguised. It had to be, or it would have been extinguished by church persecution. It is quite clear that European worldview became a hybrid one, where Europeans viewed their identities as strictly Christian. They unconsciously held on to pagan beliefs and even ritual practices found in folk traditions. And this hybrid nature is evidenced very strongly in folk tales in which Christian elements were inserted into tales that had their origins in a pagan past. So, returning to the idea of karma in European tradition, we will never find that word. However, according to the online etymology dictionary, the word karma originally evolved from the Proto-Indo-European root queer, which means to take, which means to make or form. Queer, I'm not sure I'm reading that right, but it's Kwer. It is related to the Old Persian word kunyadi, meaning he makes, and the Sanskrit word knoti, Kronoti, with the meaning, the Sanskrit meaning of karma is action, work, deed, and fate. In the Three Heads, the fairy tale, which demonstrated a vestigial memory of the old Teutonic mythic figures called the Norns, we also explored the Germanic concept of word, which is similar to fate. In that discussion, we explored how Teutonic view differed from the Greek view because the Germanic people did not view fate as fixed. To the Teutonic people, which includes the Germans, Anglo-Saxons, Dutch, Norse, etc., your fate was malleable and could be changed depending on your decisions and actions in life. So we can see a clear connection between word, which is spelled W-Y-R-D, and the definition of karma as action, work, deed, and fate. Karma is most often discussed in the Buddhist view, which asserts that actions in this life determines one's fate and in the next life. However, we have just explored how Aryan cultural worldview was wont to travel, and as beliefs and languages travel, they invariably end up diverging and developing differently. The actual meaning of the origin of the Proto-Indo-European root for karma matches very well with the concept of word. Okay, and shortly I'll be reading the next chapter, The Spread of Culture Across Distance, and the pictures. Here's a picture of the Norns by Lorenz Frolick. And the Norns become very important as you explore your roots, your European roots. Also, here's an illustration by Arthur Rackham. Looks like it's an illustration for a fairy tale or folklore. And he looks like a troll to me. So stay tuned, and probably in a few minutes I'll read the next chapter. Thank you.